The moon faded, the sun rose, and morning came to Moomin Valley. Snug in his bed in the Moomin house, Moomin Troll woke up. He yawned once, he stretched twice, and then he remembered. Pee-hoo, it's my birthday!
Gerald was a tall giraffe. His neck was long and slim, when his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin.
Cuddly Dudley by Jess Olbrough. Dudley loved to play jumping, diving, splashing, but most of all, Dudley loved to play all by himself.
Long ago, in an ancient and distant realm called the Kingdom of Back Garden, there lived a warrior named Rock.
Slinky Malinky was blacker than black, a stalking and lurking adventurous cat. He had bright yellow eyes and a warbling wail, and a kink at the end of his very long tail.
Once there was a little girl called Sophie, and she was having tea with her mummy in the kitchen. Suddenly, there was a ring at the door.
Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin.
He pushed right to the front. I felt sort of annoyed. I hadn't even known he was there. I tried not to let it bother me, but it did, and it's sort of bugged me ever since.
Suddenly, the Turbo Toiler 2000 came charging out of the front door of the school with a terrible crash. The earth rumbled beneath its mighty footsteps.
Right. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him a wild thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up."
I have to stand on my tiptoes just to reach the height chart. I asked Mama to move it, but she didn't listen. The same thing happened when Burger told me to go in goal. But I'm scared, I said. Did anybody listen? Nope. When you're little, nobody ever does.
Everyone knows the story of the three little pigs, but now you've got to meet the three little javelinas, lovable, wild, southwestern cousins of pigs, living in homes built out of tumbleweeds and saguaro ribs.
Adventure-loving American pilot Amelia Earhart wanted to become the first ever woman to fly solo across the vast Atlantic Ocean.
3 farmers. Down in the valley there were 3 farms. The owners of these farms had done really well. They were rich men. They were also nasty men. All 3 of them were about as nasty and as mean as any men you could meet.
You can't take an elephant on the bus. It would simply cause a terrible fuss. Elephants' bottoms are heavy and fat and would certainly squash the seats quite flat.
When Stanley's bad luck unfairly lands him in the juvenile detention centre, Camp Green Lake, a very weird place that isn't green and doesn't have a lake.
Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now, bump, bump, bump on the back of his head, behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs, but sometimes he feels that there really is another way, if only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it.
It's a little baby, 1, 2, 3, stands in his cot. What does he see? Peep-oo! He sees his father sleeping in the big brass bed.